Hi, my name is James O'Brien, and this video will constitute my oral presentation for PSY4111, specifically in the area of Topic 3, media violence and its impact on aggression. This article that I'm going to be presenting on has been taken directly from my article matrix assessment as indicated. So the title of the paper is The Effects of Playing a Violent Video Game as a Male versus a Female Avatar on the Subsequent Aggression in Male and Female Players. Now, it's important to know that this paper takes as its basis the social cognitive theory of aggression and its relationship to media violence, particularly one of the three important points of that theory, which is priming. So priming is the tendency for aggressive media violence sources to activate, if you like, more aggressive cognitive schemas and scripts within a person that's likely to make them engage in more aggressive behaviors or be more likely to bring up more aggressive cognitive scripts for a short duration after having witnessed the media violence. So specifically in this time we're talking about video game violence. The rationale for this study is that males are stereotypically more aggressive according to the authors of the study, and that therefore, that the gender of the avatar chosen by a person playing a video game may have an effect on subsequent increase in aggression due to the priming effect. So the question they're asking is, would the stereotype of male aggressiveness cause the use of a male avatar to prime more aggressive behavior? The aim of the study would be to investigate the effect of avatar gender on the priming effect of video game violence. And the hypothesis would be that the use of the male avatar will have a positive correlative effect on aggression witnessed after the observation of media violence, or in this case, the violent video game play. And also that this effect may be more pronounced in male than female participants due to male identification with male avatars. So what they're suggesting here is another part of the theory of aggression and media violence, which is that if a person identifies with the person engaging in the media violence, they're more likely to have more aggressive scripts and schemas primed than they would be if they didn't identify with the proponent of the media violence. So they say from this that violent superheroes are more dangerous to children than violent villains. So the participants were 242 undergrad college students, of which, according to the authors, 66% were female and 95% white. There's no mention of the age of the participants, unfortunately, or any other statistical information about the population provided. The method is that the participants were randomly given either a female or male avatar to play in one of two violent fighting games. The avatars would fight against a character of the same gender, and participants were asked then, after playing the violent video games, to choose how much spicy sauce to give a supposed partner, actually an actor, who had specified that they didn't like spicy sauce. And this, how much spicy sauce they chose to give, was used as a measure for aggression. Informed consent was obtained before the experiment and debriefing provided afterwards. So this is an experimental format, not a correlative format. The findings were that there was a significant positive correlation between male avatar use during video game play and the degree of aggression. And that, as the authors say, there is an almost significant correlation between the gender of the participant and that of the avatar when measuring the degree of aggression. In other words, male participants playing with male avatars were more likely to behave aggressively during the spicy sauce part of the experiment. The conclusions that the authors came to were that playing a violent video game while taking the perspective of a male avatar more effectively primes aggressive scripts and behaviors than taking a female avatar, and that male participants have a tendency to identify more with their male avatars, leading to more effective priming of aggression in that population. The implication for them was that there should be attention paid, presumably by government regulating bodies and so forth, to the use of violent male characters in video games because it reinforces the stereotype of violent male behavior, as well as being more likely to cause violent behavior in all video game players. So there are a number of problems with this research that I've identified. First of all, the premise that the stereotype of male aggression is not well identified or substantiated within the research. There's no reference made to any other papers showing any empirical evidence that this is the case. However, the authors seem to take it as a jumping off point for the entirety of the research. So that's one problem that they've got there. What they do show, however, is they reference a number of papers showing that, as a general rule, male characters are portrayed more aggressively in video games than are female characters anyway. So it's hard to tell whether or not the difference there, that the statistical correlation is due to the fact that there were male avatars that they were playing, or that the male avatars were portrayed more aggressively, and thereby that the portrayal actually was what caused higher correlative, a more significant correlative relationship. The fact that there were same gender opponents is also a problem, because it's difficult to tell whether or not it was just exposure to male characters engaging in video game violence, or what they call the perspective taking effect, where it's due to the person playing as the avatar. So it could just be, such as in more traditional media violence, the fact that the person witnessed male characters rather than played as them. The aggression testing method is a bit dubious too. Hard to tell whether this is quite the same, this use of spicy sauce, as actual physical violence towards another person, but that's as may be. Also, the control variables were not listed and the age of participants not specified, so this is also a bit of a problem. Suggestions for further research that I have: perhaps we could try a research study with avatars in a different game that were able to be constructed as mostly identical, except for identifying gender characteristics, to get rid of the problem there of what we see relative to the choice of the way in which the avatars are portrayed. Also, varying the opponent's gender might contribute to more significant studies. That we might study other video game characteristics and their effects on aggression. And that the relationship between the avatar gender and the transfer of excitation via the skin conductivity measure might be another avenue of potential research. Thank you.